Hello and welcome to episode number 260 of the Launch Lounge podcast. When you've put so much work into creating that lead magnet, people are signing up and it's exciting, but then there's complete silence. They download your freebie and disappear into the void, never to open your emails again. What if I told you there is a simple 5-email sequence that not only keeps them engaged, but actually primes them to buy from you when you're ready to make them an offer? Today, I'm sharing the exact welcome email framework that has helped my students turn cold subscribers into enthusiastic buyers without being pushy or salesy. So if you've been wondering what to say after someone downloads your freebie, this episode is going to change everything for your email game. Hello and welcome. I'm so glad you're here with me today. You know, I've recently come back from beautiful Palm Springs. I'm still on a Palm Springs high. Love that town. That's a magical town. I was at Altitude Summit at the conference. And there was something that I really, really loved over there. I'm a little bit, let's call it cautious, or a little bit, let's say, allergic to networking. I hate networking. I can do it. I can be very much looking like I am engaged and looking like I'm energized when I'm amongst people, but it is not something that I can sustain for long periods of time. I do draw my energy from being by myself. So networking can be quite draining. So what I do before I go anywhere is I try to identify, 10 or 15 people that I'm going to know. Even if I don't know them from a bar of soap, I try to, go on their website, see who they are, what they do, what they're about. At this particular conference, I did that with the speakers at the conference just to see who they are, what they're about. Do we have anything in common? Is there a nice, gentle hook into a conversation with them? Because obviously people like people who have things in common with them. So if I can kind of identify a few things beforehand and then walk into a conversation and be like, oh, yeah, you're the person who does the communities. I do online courses and communities, memberships, and courses are very similar. We have something in common. There's a quality connection straight away. What I loved about Alt Summit is because it's a conference for creative people, so creative women, women in creative industries that market and sell their creative artworks or creative work. There was a lot of arts and crafts. I loved it. It's great. Give me arts and crafts any day, right? And I actually said this to a friend of mine who's an occupational therapist, and I told her how wonderful networking was because you sit down next to someone at a table and you start coloring in together, and suddenly the conversation just flows. And if it's a table of 6 or 7 people, you just slide in, start coloring, and it's beautiful. And the conversations flow very naturally and normally and beautifully. And when I said this to my OT friend, she went, yeah, it's play. It's like side-by-side play, getting to know your friend. It's as old as the mountains. And I was like, well, why have the networking people not discovered this yet? We need coloring in. That's what was missing from all those years of networking I did in the beginning. So that was really funny. But the reason I tell you this is today we're going to talk about email sequences, particularly one specific email sequence, which is your welcome email sequence. Now, what that means is somebody signs up for your lead magnet. What happens in the first 5 to 7 days after they sign up for your lead magnet in their inbox? Now, some of you will say, nothing. Yeah, I know. That's okay. Well, we're going to fix that. And others will say, well, they get their PDF or their whatever lead magnet, and then after that, they get my weekly emails. And I'm like, okay, great. At least they're not getting nothing. But I want you to imagine for a moment that the person who downloads your lead magnet is someone at a conference. There's someone who you've just met, and you have the opportunity. And plus, you've already identified you've got something in common, right? They've already downloaded your lead magnet, so there's an agreement that you both have something in common. You have a solution to a problem that they have. So we know that's established. Now, where do we go from here? Your welcome sequence is like sitting down at the table with them and coloring in with them and getting to know them and giving them the opportunity to get to know you in a very non-invasive, non-threatening, delightfully friendship-like way, right? When people download your lead magnet, in that moment after they download your lead magnet, that is the honeymoon phase of anybody being on any email list, right? That is pure gold. And that's when they're most curious about you. It's when they're most open to hearing from you. And it's when they're most likely to remember who you are when you land in their inbox. But if you don't have a strategic welcome sequence in place, that golden opportunity slips right through your fingers and you end up landing in spam land, where they're either create a folder where all your emails just go directly to that folder, or Gmail just decides it's not even going to show you their email anymore, or show them your email anymore because they haven't opened it in years. All right. So today I'm going to talk you through the exact 5 email sequence that I teach my students to use, that I teach my clients to use, that I use, that will turn your newfound lead who's just downloaded your lead magnet into engaged fans who are primed and ready to buy when the time comes. And by the end of this episode, you'll know exactly which emails to write, when to write them, when to send them, and how to strike that perfect balance between being helpful and setting the stage for future sales. So if you've been wondering what to put in that new subscriber sequence, I'm going to show you today. Let's talk for a second about why it matters, right? I want you to think about that moment when you meet someone new. That moment when, whether it's at a networking event, you're sitting there coloring in, or it's in digital world, you've just downloaded a lead magnet. All of us walk around with a secret baseball bat in our hands. Like we're all like, we've got our guard is up, right? Because we're in unfamiliar territory. We are with people we don't know, people we don't know their values. We don't know how they behave. We don't know what's the right protocol around them. So we all have this sort of metaphorical guard that's up, but also maybe a little bit like a weapon, like we're ready to like hide behind something, or if we really need to, we might attack, right? Now that's a very like childlike metaphor, right? It's a very simplistic oversimplification of human psychology. But think about it. We do. When we meet new people, we're a little bit skeptical until we're not. But sometimes we need some facilitation to get over that. There's a reason they make you go camping every time you go to a new school or you go to a new... So I don't know about you guys, but here in Australia, I know the kids go camping all the time. And growing up in South Africa, they like the first week of every new thing you were a part of was adventure camping. And by adventure camping, I mean they give you a shovel and a roll of toilet paper and they stick you somewhere in a bush and they say, see you in 3 days. And when you come out there, you are covered in mud, but you have made the best friends with whoever the 10 or 5 or 6 or 30 or however many people is that went through that experience with you. So that's what this is. It's just a facilitated way to get them to put down their weapon, to get them to put down their guard, and to get them to go, yeah, she gets me. Yeah, we're the same. Oh, we have these things in common. Oh, yeah, I'm going to be safe here. I'm going to be taken care of here. Yeah, okay. So it's just that it's just getting over the initial weirdness, right? That's what your welcome sequence does. It gets you over the initial weirdness. And it establishes a kind of a friendship as such, right? I've got some breaking news for you. We've just finished recording the brand new 2025 edition of our free 5-day Facebook and Instagram ads training. If you've been feeling like social media is sucking the life out of you, or you're tired of spinning your wheels trying to build your list with little to show for it, this is for you. In this completely free 5-day video training, you'll discover exactly how much to spend on ads to make them work specifically for your business. I'll walk you through step by step how to set up ads that actually get results. Navigate the ads manager with confidence, even if Zucks keeps changing everything, and boost your email list signups instead of just boosting posts. The best part? You'll get lifetime access to all the updated strategies that are working right now in 2025. And you can revisit the training anytime you need a refresher. Ready to stop guessing and start growing your list with confidence? Join over 10,000 others who've taken this course now. Head over to thelaunchlounge.com/getmyadup or click the link in the show notes. Your future students are scrolling right now. Let's make sure they find you. I think most course creators fall into one of maybe two categories when it comes to these welcome sequences. You either have one email that delivers, like, so there's the delivery email, the one that goes out straight away after they've downloaded the lead magnet. And that email, you have loaded that email up with everything you can possibly think about what you need to give this person. So if that's you, raise your hand. I see you. I know you're trying to put all your best stuff in that first email. And I understand you're doing it because you don't want to bombard them with emails because you think that's going to be annoying, which it's not. We'll address that one. Or B, you want to give them as much as you can in that first email because you want to give them as much as you can, right? Okay, nothing wrong with that. But here's the thing is, imagine for a second you just met someone and they start sending you memes and your phone goes ping, meme, ping, meme, ping, meme, right? Or TikTok video, TikTok video, TikTok video, TikTok video. Even if you can relate to the videos and even if the videos are aligned with your sense of humor or with your values, how you see life, it would be pretty weird if you just met someone and suddenly they go to that level of intimacy where they're sharing memes with you. Like, that's kind of reserved for like, nah, we've seen each other. We've been through something. Now you get to enjoy my TikToks that I forward you, right? So if you're including everything that you can in that very first email, your beard's just, it's weird, man. Stop it. It's weird. Let's not do that. What we do want to include in that first email is just the thing that they just requested. That's all. That's all. You've asked for a thing. Here's your thing. That's your thing. And maybe we can tell them, tomorrow I'm going to give you another thing that you're going to love, right? That's it. That's it. But I'm going to walk you through the whole thing, right? So most people either front load their email sequence, put all their good stuff in the first email, and then nothing. And then they just rely on their weekly content. Now, this person who just joined your list, they're coming in cold. They don't know they're going to get a podcast email on a Thursday. They don't know that. They don't even know you have a podcast yet. They don't care about that. You need to first make them care. You need to tell them you have a podcast. You need to make sure that they know it's worth listening to. And then you can start sending them emails about it. Okay? So we don't want to put all of the information in that first email. We want to kind of spread it out a little bit. We want to take them on a bit of a journey. None of us like having too much detail thrown at us. None of us like having too much information thrown at us. We kind of want to learn something and then digest it and then get to know you a little bit better and digest that. and then do another thing that we digest, and then maybe go to your Instagram and follow you there. Oh, and then we happen to watch 3 reels, which now means we've spent at least 10 minutes looking at you, hearing you, experiencing you. So now we are kind of becoming friends. Now I've not only put down my weapon, I've not only bring down my guard, I'm leaning in. I'm like, oh yeah, this girl's got some good stuff. I like this. I'm going to enjoy that. And then when you're 3-5 days in, you get the email about this fabulous podcast that they have, and you go, what? There's a podcast too? Can't wait to listen. And they grab their phone and they instantly follow your show so that would come up on their feed, right? That's what we're doing. So be careful to bombard them with everything about you and every little thing that they can ever want to consume about you in email number 1. The purpose of your welcome sequence is to build trust. It's to deepen the connection, to position yourself as a go-to expert, to show them that you understand their very obvious desires and fears that they have, but also to show them that you understand those secret desires and fears that they actually wouldn't admit to anyone. But the fact that you understand them makes you a special unicorn in their world, because now they feel seen, they feel heard, they feel validated, they feel like they're in the right place. And that's when bonding starts to happen. That's when your lead moves from a cold lead to a warm lead. That's when your lead starts opening up about their needs and their desires. And that's when you can start making sales, right? Now, I'm not saying make a sale in the first 5 emails, although you could if it made sense and if it added value and if you did it right. But this is not that email sequence. This is the warming people up, connecting and building relationships with them. It's not the pitch email, all right? I want you to think of every email that you send in this warm-up sequence to communicate one thing, and that it's part of a journey that you take them on to get to know you, and for you to show them that you know them, and to show them the amazing free content that you have that will make them feel seen, that will make them feel heard, and that will give them a sense that they belong here and this is what they want. So, without further ado, here is the 5 email framework that converts like crazy. I'm going to give this to you. You might want to grab a pen and a piece of paper. It will also be in the show notes. You can always grab it there. But don't go, here's what I find people do. You say, I'm going to start teaching something, and then everyone's like, wait, write it down. I'm going to miss it. Dude, chill. Okay, just relax. Listen to it. Don't write anything down. You can come back and write it down later. Just hear the big picture. And then you can write down the details. All right. So email number 1 is the warm welcome. It's the one where you deliver the thing that they just downloaded. And so you start building trust because you give them what they want straight away, right? Give it to them straight away. Deliver the freebie, and then set their expectation around the next few days. You're going to hear from me over the next 5 days. You're going to hear from me every day, and I'm going to show you or tell you how you're going to explore solving XY problem with me, or how we're going to get you to XY future desire, right? Then email number 2. 24 hours later, just 24 hours later, right? This one's meant to be a connector. This one is supposed to create a deep connection with them. I want you to write that email as a story. Write that email as a friend, sitting down with a friend, having a glass of Prosecco or a cup of tea, and share your story. Share your origin story and make it relatable. Help them see themselves in your origin story, your story about how you struggled before you discovered the breakthrough that you have, which is probably a bit similar to where they are right now. And you can introduce your philosophy about your why, right? Your big why. Why are you doing what you do? Why are you passionate about helping someone like her who is stuck in the pain that she's in or who wants the desired outcome that she wants? Why does it matter to you? That's going to build a connection with her. Email number 3. Now we're starting to teach a little bit, just a tiny bit. I want you to give her a quick win. Now, if this is where you send her to another podcast episode, or this is where you give her another PDF that you can download, something else, right? It can be big or small, but keep it succinct. Keep it small, right? It needs to be, and keep it related to the original lead magnet. So if you have just solved one problem in your lead magnet, you can ask yourself, once this small problem is solved, what is the next problem that this opens up for her? Because there's always something, right? There's always something. Once you've solved one problem, what's the next thing that opens up that becomes a new problem for her that she'll want to have solved? Share that with her. Email number 4 is the invitation. This is where you're going to invite her to come over for coffee. This is where you're going to invite her to take one more step into your world. Invite her to follow you on Instagram. Invite her to come and listen to your podcast. Invite her to join your Facebook group. I don't know, whatever it is that you have. Start creating multi-channel engagement, different touch points on different platforms. If you have a YouTube channel, send her there. If you have a TikTok account, send her there, right? Something else where you're going to show up on her phone, not just in her computer, or where you're going to show up on her iPad instead of on her phone. Some other platform where you have a presence. And then finally, email number 5 is the soft segue into what's next. I want you to preview how you can help her. I want you to tell her that, for people like this, I have a course that helps you achieve XYZ outcome, and share the waitlist page. Tell her that I have a course that can give you the ultimate thing that you really want. Get on the waitlist because I have a special bonus for that. And it's the most beautiful thing that when you then get to a place where you're launching your course and you go, well, how many people do I have on the waitlist? Oh, great. I already have 200 people on my waitlist. That's amazing. That's a great feeling, right? So here's what you're going to do. You are going to sit down and write down each of these 5 emails. Just start with the goal of the email. And then you're going to start writing. Just free write a few lines based on what I've just shared with you. And what you can do is you don't need to hire a professional copywriter. You don't need to do anything fancy. You go to ChatGPT and you say, ChatGPT, this is my ideal customer. These are their pain points. These are their desires. I've drafted 5 emails that I want to send them based on this lead magnet. Here's the copy from the landing page on the lead magnet so the ChatGPT can pick up on all the promises you made for the lead magnet. Please edit this for me. And ChatGPT will go thinking, and then spits you out a 5-part email sequence that will warm up your audience. Now, the critical thing is you need to edit that. You need to go through it, make sure it's in your voice, tone of voice, make sure it sounds like you, make sure it uses words you would use, make sure it doesn't use words you won't use. It needs to be authentic in your voice, right? So if you have a brand voice guide, add that there as well. So as we wrap up today, I want you to remember something important. Your welcome sequence isn't just about staying in touch with new subscribers. It's about beginning a relationship that can transform both their lives and your business. When you implement this 5-day framework we've covered today, you're not just sending emails. You're creating a bridge between someone's initial interests and their journey towards becoming a customer who achieves real results with your help. Here's what I want you to do right now. Open your calendar and block out 2 to 3 hours this week to draft your welcome sequence. That is all it takes. just a few hours to create an asset that will work for you 24/7, that'll turn cold subscribers into warm leads who know, like, and trust you. And remember, you don't have to make it perfect. Your subscribers aren't looking for perfection. They're looking for connection. For someone who understands their challenges and who can guide them to a solution. And that's you. Thank you for listening. I love hanging out with you here on the show. I'll see you again next week. Bye. Before you go, if today's episode helped you, imagine how many more lives could be transformed if other creators, coaches, and experts found these strategies too. Your shares and reviews help more course creators discover how to get their knowledge out into the world. Please take a moment to rate the show and leave a quick review. When you do, we get to reach more people and we make a bigger impact together. Because when more people who help people succeed, the world becomes a better place. Thank you.